Lafayette's Best Country, 95.7. Good afternoon. It's B. Adams back for another round of Y95 Live. Man, we are heading into the third month of this thing, and I think you're our seventh or eighth guest that we've had. And it's Jason Wells, local legend Jason Wells. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
I was just telling you off the air, man. Eric, the Wizard Wake from Bob FM, kind of was telling me about you. I met you because of him. But even before that, just going around town, any bar or music venue or anywhere that has live music, I feel like I see your name everywhere.
Well, that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. So let's talk about that. Are you from here?
I'm from this area, yeah, and I've made Lafayette kind of my music home. You know, when I first started, I live in Frankfurt, and then kind of came over here when I first started playing music, and just kind of took off with Lafayette.
So you've been in the area a long time, and I understand that your career was kind of industrial. You were working in warehouses, things like that, and then you decided to go full time with music. So let's talk about your beginning.
Sure, yeah. Well, I had a perfectly good job, and I think during all the commotion a few years ago, like 2008, I got laid off. So
that was recession time, right? Was that 2008?
Yeah, it was about that time. It was at that time.
Yeah.
And so I just took that opportunity to do what I always wanted to do anyway. It's kind of looked at it as an opportunity. So I just went out and started playing music, and started with nothing. I didn't even have enough gear really. I had old gear that was just barely working enough to get some small gigs, and I was doing open mics and everything like that. And I've had a little experience, so I was, doing some gigs and what I could, but I just started from basically scratch, and during a bad time, and took it as an opportunity, and I thought if I was going to do that, I'm not going to look back.
Right.
Yeah. So
well, you saw the opportunity, man.
Yeah. So I just kind of did it and kept going and also I've always wanted to. I thought I didn't want to just go out there and be another add more to the noise, if you would say, add more to the people striving for the same attention, so it's like, oh, there's another person trying. So I just always took kind of a different approach and just try to bring people to actually together. As I always felt like in my heart, we musicians or people or whatever, I don't know who's to whatever, but we kind of lost sight of things maybe, and I always thought, and in a way, it's like music became, oh, it's this or it's that, or I like this or that, and it's like, well, there's some middle ground.
All over the place.
Yeah, and then there's room for, and like bands weren't really, everything was a competition and ego. Me growing up, so it was my influence also, and it was like I just don't want to. I'm not going to add to that. It's going to be different than this.
Right.
It's like this could be much better. So that was always been my goal, and my heart, my attitude, and I hope it. So I'm a creative person, and I've always encouraged other people to be creative, and I feel like there's room for all of us, because everyone's going to say something a little different or say the same thing a little different way.
Yeah, so when you started out, you had a goal in mind. You thought, you know what, it's very competitive. Everybody out here, they're wanting to make it big. They're wanting to make a name in music. Somebody gets a gig here, the other person's mad because they feel like they should have that gig. So when you set out to make music, you not only wanted to be an artist and be creative, but you kind of wanted to be different. You wanted to stand out, and you kind of wanted to be a leader and kind of bring everyone together, right?
That was my hope, and I really, truly, my heart, and I feel like, I think and also in that bringing everyone together, that's what music was supposed to be about anyway, and so some of all that other stuff was just interfering with the art and just the love of music and the love of life, and be able to create music, just interfering with so much of that. And I feel like, but so not that I had this anything other than I just felt like my decisions were going to reflect that. I hoped that's what I wanted to as my goal. Of course,
Well, you're talking about like all the different people and all the different artists that were out there, and there's so many different genres. And nowadays, a lot of them kind of blend together. When people listen to your music, obviously this is a country station. When people listen to your music, they might not think country, but you have a blues background and a rock background, and both of those things kind of influence a lot of the country genre. You get a
Yeah,
lot of guys like, for instance, a lot of people don't know this, but Post Malone,
yeah,
everybody knows him as pop, hip hop, whatever.
yeah.
And they're all like, oh, he's going country. He's going country. What they don't know is he actually started in like bluegrass.
Right,
So
right,
it's like kind of what you're saying. You're kind of you like to bring everybody together, and that's kind of where we're at with music nowadays.
right.
I think you're kind of described as blues and rock, but as first of all, check his website at jasonwellsmusic.com. Go check it out. When I was scrolling through your website and stuff and kind of listening to a lot of your songs, there was even some songs on there I kind of heard like a little kind of Dave Matthews vibe. Like you're just
Yeah,
kind of vibing, just a
yeah,
band, just a
yeah,
good band, just
yeah.
jamming.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I mean that in the best way
yeah. Oh,
possible.
that's awesome. Yeah, yeah. We're in. That's what our music and it's what our band is about, and my music is. There's aspects about it that I have a message and I have songs and things, but when we come together as a band and the fans come and to our show, it's always different and it's always interactive in the moment with, there they breathe, I leave it open to breathe a little bit with the fans, and so we're musicians playing, and and so that's the aspect of the Jason Wells band that
Yeah.
I think comes across when fans come to our show.
Hanging out with Jason Wells Music. You can go to jasonwellsmusic.com. He does have lots. I mean, I was going to say he's got a new song out, but your catalog is huge, I feel like.
I'm working on my let's see, seventh album actually. I
Yeah.
have
So you
six
have a
albums.
huge catalog
No, I have like
already.
10 songs on them. So, yeah, when I stop and think about it, it's like, yeah, there's like 60 songs that I released.
Yeah, October Sky is a new single that's out. You can hear all of this music at jasonwellsmusic.com. He's got a song called Give a Lot of Love. We're going to talk about that coming up here in just a bit, which Wiz tells me that's the one that kind of fits the country category pretty well.
Well, that one, I think I got, maybe I misspoke. The October Sky, I think, Give a Lot of Love, we're going to play that in a little bit, but I think what I'll play live was probably the October Sky, because I think that fits, what you're talking about earlier,
Yeah.
that country and, I mean, the blues and the
Yeah.
rock.
Yeah.
So much of that intertwines into Southern rock, which is kind of evolves into and comes from, I mean, everything comes from, and so October Sky has aspects of that I think would really translate well.
Well, we're excited to hear it, and we're going to hear it coming up here in just a few minutes. Hanging out with Jason Wells, jasonwellsmusic.com. Go check out his website. Everything you need to know about him is there. His music, I was going to get into the coffee the next segment. I want to talk about the coffee. He's got his own coffee, which I think is awesome. You can see that on there as well. But Jason Wells is our guest on Y95 Live this week. We're going to hear him play a song live coming up in just a few minutes. Hang around. Back on Y95 Live, it's B. Adams hanging out with my friend Jason Wells. I like to call him a local legend because his name's everywhere and he plays all around town. Not just here, though. He plays all over the place. Chances are, if you haven't seen him live, you've at least seen his name. And we've talked already, and we're going to talk more, but it's all about the music on Y95 Live. So, Jason, you're going to play something live for us. What are we going to hear?
We're going to hear one of my newest singles, a song called October Sky. And it's a good song about a heartfelt song that I wrote for my wife, and so it means a lot to, hopefully means a lot to other people too.
Well, let's take a listen. It's Jason Wells. Here's October Sky on Y95 Live.
2 days of only rain. Leaves are all turning brown. Too many things causing pain. all the things fall to the ground. Never forget this day. Joy I see in your eyes as we walk underneath blue October sky. Life gets me down sometimes. Well, I know I'm not the only one. Too many days of no sunshine. Feels like it's all said and done. Never forget this day. The joy I see in your eyes as we walk underneath in your eyes. And always walk underneath the blue October sky.
Love it. October Sky, that's Jason Wells. That song is out now. Where can people find that song?
They can find it pretty much everywhere online. Anywhere you can find digital music. JasonWellsMusic.com, you can find it on there, except for one place that won't be mentioned that took it down for no reason. So,
Well, I love the song, man. The song itself was great. The lyrics were great. I really enjoyed the guitar, man.
thank you.
The
Thank you
music
very
with
much.
it was awesome. I could
Appreciate
listen to
that.
that picking all day long. We're going to hear more from Jason Wells coming up here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about he's got his own coffee. What? We're going to talk about that, and I'm very interested in that. And then, of course, we're going to hear another song from him. It's called "Give a Lot of Love," and that's got a special guest on it. We're going to talk about all that coming up in just a few minutes. It's B. Adams hanging with Jason Wells on Y95 Live. Lafayette's Best Country 95.7. It's B. Adams hanging out with Jason Wells. It's Y95 Live. We just heard him play October Sky live for us. Great song he wrote for his wife. And we're going to talk about another song coming up here in just a few minutes because I'm really excited to hear Give a Lot of Love. But right now, I want to talk about your coffee. I was on your website, which for those listening, jasonwellsmusic.com. And as I was scrolling through and kind of checking everything out, your music, your pictures, you've got a place where people can sign up to hang out with you backstage at shows. I came across your own coffee, JWB Coffee. Let's talk about that. How does that even happen?
Oh, yeah, it happens all right.
How did you go about coming up with your own coffee brand?
Well, it's a long story, and I found just the right flavors and the right people to do it, to put my name on it. And I wanted to. It all kind of started because long ago I was a broke musician, but I had this coffee habit that I couldn't hardly afford.
I can think of worse habits for musicians to have.
Yeah. So I went to. So I started wheeling and dealing so I could have some coffee to drink. So anyway, I came up with the plan and found the right flavors and found the right roasters. I go through a roaster but it took me like a year and a half and I found the right flavors for all of this that I
Yeah.
want to call coffee. That's Jason Wells Band coffee right there. Like, you're not going to find any other coffee. I tell everyone, you're going to judge every cup of coffee you have after this to that. I guarantee it.
Well, I'm looking at it now on the website. Again, jasonwellsmusic.com. There's a tab for it. You can find it if you want to look at it. We'll also put it up. Our boy Sean's in here videoing everything, so we'll make sure we get a picture of it up on the actual video if you're watching and not listening. But man, it looks cool. I mean, Jason Wells Band across the top. And then you've got the blues, you've got rock and roll, you got hard rock, which it looks like the breakfast blend, darkest roast.
Yeah.
I got to check out this coffee. You even have a hashtag, drink it loud.
Drink it loud. Yeah, that's our hashtag. Yeah. It's all about being creative and getting up and getting going and getting your day started and living it and being it. And also the important thing of this is too, I use a lot of the coffee proceeds to help future musicians. That's another way I can give back.
Oh,
and
that's great.
So I've sponsored students. There's been like youth centers and things where I've sponsored instruments and got them music rooms and things like that. And it's all a lot from the proceeds of coffee.
So when you get this coffee, you're not only getting good coffee, but you're helping sponsor music students and help local music stores with instruction and teaching. And again, all of this is on his website. So,
yeah,
you can go to his website, check this out for yourself, jasonwellsmusic.com.
And a lot of people are finding where to find it. Right now, it's in stores. I had it shipped. I had it for sale on my site. Right now, I do not. But just check back because wherever this goes out, keep checking because it's going to change. Just COVID and the shipping really wrecked that. But it's coming back, though. So just keep checking back on the coffee. But right now, you can find it in some stores, and we're getting it into more stores all over the place.
I was going to say, it looks like JWB Coffee can be found locally in Frankfort, Indiana.
Yeah.
At IGA, Harry's Coffee Shop, and Creekside Music.
Yes. And soon, in the past, it was in the DNR market here, so shout out to them. We're going to get it back in there soon.
Awesome. Yeah, right over there on off of 26
Yeah.
there. Everybody knows DNR. If you've been here long enough, you know
they're great
DNR.
folks over there, yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. I definitely got to try some of this coffee. Next time I'm in Frankfurt, I'm going to have to pop in one of those places and purchase some because I kind of want to try this breakfast blend.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a popular one.
I was going to say, is there one that's more popular than the others? Do you have a bestseller?
Well, I think a lot of people are scared of the hard rock, except for the people that walk up and like, "Oh yeah, you want hard rock?" Yeah. So the rock and roll and the I'd say the blues is kind of the biggest seller probably because it's the safest starter.
Yeah, right.
Everybody takes the safe bet there, and that's a good one. That's a good safe. It's really good. But the rock and roll for me, the rock and roll. It is a hard rock, but it's a dark roast, but it is still it's not real dark. It's not real bad.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's just a real.
Well, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna
clean.
try it. And again, if you're a coffee drinker, if you like coffee, which most people are, I feel like. Maybe you'll discover that you really like this coffee.
Yeah.
And again, you're also helping out local music students, local musicians. I think that's awesome, Jason. Thanks for doing that. Hashtag drink it loud, baby.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about the song you're going to play next. Let's talk about that a little bit here. Give a Lot of Love is the title, and you've got special guests on it. And we're going to hear it in just a few minutes, but I want you to talk about that song real quick.
Yeah. I'm just super happy with this song, and this song is also on my newest album that's coming out. So it's a single. Give a Lot of Love is a single released right now, and it's everywhere online and on my website. I have some fabulous musicians throughout. I have fabulous musicians on the album. Blake Watts, who's from here, he's done all kinds of recording down in Nashville and has done all kinds of big work, and he's really awesome. My son, Gibson Wells, was on it and produced the album. We got Derek Coleman playing saxophone on it, and then Aaron Walker playing some percussion on it. They're all from here, Lafayette. And then, and it just turned out so well. And the song itself, the lyrics for me, so most of my songs, I'm all guitar riffs and all this stuff. On this track, all I do is play rhythm guitar all the way
Yeah.
through it, and I
So it's a
sing.
little different even for you.
It's a little different for me. So, but I wanted it that way. And then also the special guest is Buddy Reed, and he's playing some slide guitar on there, and he's also on there. And he is a legendary blues guy. He's played with Muddy Waters, Big Mama Thornton, Howlin' Wolf, Bo Diddley, like you name it. He was in their band with them, or
Wow.
sat in with them, or did
And
all.
you were able to get him on this song.
And he's on, and he's on this song. Played some slide, and I sent a message back to him as soon as I heard it, and we got it all plugged in right. I was like, he played the most perfect, bluesiest, just sweetest thing you could do for this song, and to be able to talk with him and collaborate with him, it was just really awesome. So he's the real deal, one of the few left, the old school blues guys that's been around.
Yeah.
And so to have him on here, and then he's helping me and I'm helping him, and we're becoming good friends doing it.
Well, that's what it's all about, man. But that kind of circles back to the very beginning of this conversation.
Yes.
We talked about bringing everybody together. So I love it. It's called Give a Lot of Love, new single by Jason Wells, featuring blues legend Buddy Reed on slide guitar. So when you hear this song, make sure you listen for that slide guitar. Why don't you guys go follow Jason Wells on social media? Best way to do it, just go to his website, jasonwellsmusic.com. He's got links to social media and everything there. You can see his coffee there. Before we let you go, you got any shows coming up, or any shows you want to plug? People can come see you live?
Yeah, a big one we have coming up is August 24th down in Bean Blossom, Indiana at the Southern Indiana Blues Fest.
Oh, you'll be there.
Yeah, this is our second year back, and it's just a fabulous time. That place is a sacred ground or something. It has some mojo going on there.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar. I know all about this. I get
Yes.
emails about it every year, no matter what radio station I'm at.
Yeah.
Even in years past at other stations, I always get an email about this.
Yes, and I got to throw this out there because this is part of the story. And so the last time we played at this place, there was a three-legged dog that showed up, okay? And there's a meaning behind this, and I don't have time to get into it right now. But I had to do a video for this year to promote it, and I referenced the story of the three-legged dog, of the story in the video promoting this year. And as soon as I posted it, the very next day, a three-legged cat shows up in my yard.
Oh, no way.
Now I know what it means, and it's just wild and funny and for real.
Well,
But
I hear a
it's-
song coming out.
It's
of
all going to
this.
play out on the 24th this year. So there's more going to add to it. So
There we
I
go.
didn't bring these three-legged animals my way, but they were there.
I've got so many jokes running through my mind. I'll just leave it alone. Well, we've been hanging out with Jason Wells on Y95 Live this week. Appreciate you coming in, my man. Have you back sometime.
Yes, I thank you for having me in here very much.